Welcome back to Fight Weekly, where we break down the upcoming cards and analyze the fighters you'll see this weekend. We've got Roman Dolidze and Anthony Hernandez headlining UFC Fight Night at the Apex in Las Vegas. It's a 6-fight main card, but we'll only break down the main and co-main events in this video. We have Ode's Roman Dolidze taking on the young and up-and-comer Anthony Fluffy Hernandez in our main event this weekend. Both fighters are sporting similar records, 15-3 for Dolidze and 14-2 for Hernandez. Neither fighter is used to losing, but looking at the last 5, Dolidze has lost more recently in his career, but is still on a win streak nonetheless. And Hernandez has been on a tear too lately, with a longer win streak and impressive wins when you look deeper. The big note on this page is Dolidze should be well past his prime at 37 years old, but it might not seem like that when we look at his last fights. Dolidze has a slight reach and height advantage as well, but despite this, he's still a plus 260, a sizable underdog, and the odds favor Hernandez with minus 310. Roman Dolidze has had 4 fights since 2024. The first was against Nasruddin Imavov, where Imavov landed 4 times the strikes as Dolidze, while Dolidze managed 10 minutes of control time. Crazy scorecards here, as one judge could see Dolidze losing 44-49, while another saw the same fight going 47-47 tie. Next, he took on the Lionheart Anthony Smith and went to a 3-round decision. Dolidze won convincingly by landing double the strikes as Smith and securing a few minutes of control as well. He took that W to move upwards, as his next fight was against Kevin Holland, where he dominated him with ground and pound from full mount position. Holland injured his ribs, probably by letting this giant lay on him, and retired after the first round. Building up a small win streak, he keeps the competition coming, and in early 2025 goes against the Italian dream Marvin Vettori. Dolidze wins a 5-round decision and won by 2 rounds and scored roughly 33% more on the striking, so a pretty good win for him here. And facing off against him this weekend is Anthony Hernandez. He's on a 7-fight win streak and has had 3 fights since just last year. It starts with his fight against Roman Kopylov, where we got the fluffy meme with him sticking his tongue out while locking in the rear naked choke. Iconic win for Hernandez here. He rolls that momentum into his next fight against Michel Pereira, where he absolutely decimates Pereira. 100 times more on the striking differential? Where have you seen this? And not to mention the takedowns and the control time he racked up. He finally put an end to the fight in the 5th round with insanely violent elbows from top position and gets himself a TKO win. And his latest fight took place earlier this year against Brendan Allen. Hernandez was the minus 320 favorite and won a 3-round decision, 29-28 on all cards. And this weekend we get to see them both face off for a higher spot in the division and to work their way towards the belt. Will Roman Dolidze have enough at 37 to take Hernandez out, or will Hernandez grow his win streak to 8 and keep riding the momentum? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And for our co-main event, we have Steve Erceg fighting Ode Osbourne. This fight was put together in just a couple weeks' notice, as Erceg's previous opponent was Hyung-Sung Park, who fought last weekend against Tatsuro Taira. And now Ode Osbourne stepping in to take this fight against the top contender Astro Boy Steve Erceg, who's coming off of 2 losses and the younger fighter of the 2. Osbourne's coming off a win and just slightly older. His age shouldn't be a problem here. Osbourne has a clear advantage on the reach, and that could be good value for the underdog if he can figure out how to use that. Osbourne opened as the plus 300 underdog compared to Erceg as the minus 400 favorite. Vegas thinks Erceg has him outmatched, so let's see his recent performances and find out why. Steve Erceg has had 4 fights since 2024 against some of the top competition in his division. First, we'll look at the Matt Schnell fight. Erceg put himself on the map here with a walk-off KO early in the 2nd round, and they rushed him up for the championship fight next against Alexandre Pantoja. Erceg managed decently, matching the strikes of Pantoja, but giving up 8 minutes of control time and 9 takedowns won the fight for Pantoja. Erceg lost by 1 round on 2 scorecards, so he put in a competitive showing, but that wouldn't really last him very long, because in his next fight against Kaikar of France, Erceg opened as the minus 300 favorite after his impressive showing against the champ. Erceg got dropped bad by Kaikar of France late in the 1st and tried to stay alive, but he couldn't recover in time and showed he doesn't have the chin to survive some of the heavy hitters. And in his latest fight, he took on Brandon Moreno just a few months ago and lost a 5-round decision, 49-46 on all judges' scorecards. Looking at just the stats, it doesn't tell the full story for this one. Erceg had his high volume striking as usual, and in fact threw and landed more than Moreno, and did not give up much control time either, yet somehow he loses. And this is a case of how each significant strike is not equal to one another. Moreno clearly put a beating on Erceg to earn himself that win. And this weekend, Erceg is back to fight against Ode Osbourne. Osbourne has had just 3 fights since 2024 against names you might not know, so let's see how he's looked. First is his fight against Jafel Filho. The fight did not go further than the 1st round, and Osbourne gave up almost 3.5 minutes of control time in that round. He eventually gave up the side mount mount, and Phil was able to lock in a rear naked choke from that angle to submit Osbourne. Next, he fought Ronaldo Rodriguez, and the stats say it all. In a 3-round fight, Osbourne gave Rodriguez 9 minutes of control time and could not get his striking output going for a clear decision loss. And his last fight happened just a few months ago. Osbourne was the plus 240 underdog that fight. He gave up 2 minutes of control time, which has been his biggest problem in the previous fights. But this time, Ode manages his position on the feet and lands a lethal strike to drop Garul and earn himself a TKO victory. And with that momentum, he's coming in to fight Steve Erceg. Will Erceg put on a striking clinic against Osbourne, or can Osbourne find the glass chin of Erceg and get a spectacular underdog victory for himself? Let me know how you think this one goes in the comments section. Thanks for watching Fight Weekly, where we broke down the main and co-main fights for this weekend's card. Subscribe for more videos each week and follow the social medias for short-form content if that's what you prefer. Fight Weekly signing off until next week. Let's enjoy the fights.